Hey everybody, it's Rob from Flailthroughs. This is Gundam Battle Operation 2, and this is a round in the newly buffed original Gundam. Because of its G-Quux appearance, I guess they figured since it was probably going to be fighting those, it would need a an overhaul, and it got one. Quite a few buffs, most notably the beam rifle, which can now it's not quite on par with the Alex's beam rifle in my opinion, but it's close. It can fire about 3 times in a row before it overheats. Not quite enough for most things to do enough build stun to stop them, but it also charges much faster now and does more damage and is just generally a really good weapon. They also upped its beam saber downswing power, among other things. So yeah, it now has shield break stance mastery, which I believe we've been talking about this. Pretty sure it's the first general to have that. If I'm wrong about that, please let me know because I can't think of any others. And also got anti-blast stabilizer. So yeah, not any of the buffs I was predicting, but I was predicting that it would get buffs, and I seem to have been correct in that. So yeah, since the G3 got buffs last month and the RX-78-2 got buffs this month, I'm kind of hoping the Proto Gundam will finally get its day in July. We will see. If not, probably the next big festival buffs in November. I'm assuming they'll keep that to once every 6 months. I know it's a lot of extra work, but yeah. But yep, if Ifrit Noct is down, but yeah, Gundam feels really good. I think it also has double dodge roll now. I'll be going over the buffs at the end of the round as usual, so we'll get a chance to see. But yeah, it is, again, feels pretty good. Just because it was, featured in G-Quux as an original animation accurate design and colors. I tried my best to emulate that here. Saw a thing recently, another translation, I believe, by Mark Simmons on his Gundam Unofficial website, which I highly recommend if you like production histories and the like. But Q&A with one of the staff members for Gundam, and a number of paint colors were specially made for Gundam. One of which is the bluish off-white that the Gundam uses, and the reason for that and Char's pink are because they show up equally well on ground and against a blue sky or in space, which is kind of a concern. Because yeah, if they'd just gone with straight white, it would have washed out terribly. Because white on an animation cell tends to be the absence of color. So yeah, that's so yeah, you have to come up with something custom if you want to make it show up properly. And yeah, same with Char's weird salmon pink, which we've seen zillions of variations on over the years. It shows up on the ground, it shows up in space. Red is another color where if you get too bright with it, it can wash out details. So it all kind of makes sense when you listen to people talk about it for technical reasons. But yeah, they had to have some of the colors like custom mixed, which was unusual at the time. I'm sure it was throughout cell animation, but it's kind of funny because it just reminds me of the story that the reason most of Japan finally, or most of anime finally went to digital animation, finally abandoned cell animation in the early 2000s, is because the last chemist who did anime cell paint retired. So, which kind of makes sense. But yeah, like I said, Gundam just feels really good, handles really well. I managed to fight off quite a few, G-Quux, and not sure if there's a red Gundam here on the enemy team or not. But I fought a lot of stuff with the Gundam trying to get this, and it went pretty well. This was the best round of the bunch, though, so that's why it's here, obviously. But yeah, I managed to get away from the Quux. Stunned it. Well, no, someone else stunned it for me. I think the enemy stunned it for me, trying to stun me. But yeah, Maelstrom was saying that basically the Gundam's beam rifle, in terms of just level scaling, basically outclasses the Gelgoog rifle now. Between fire rate and charged power. At level 1, the Gelgoog rifle probably still has an advantage. For one thing, it has the advantage of coming in 50 points earlier than the Gundam's rifle does. But also, yeah, just when you get up to the higher levels, I think, let's see, at 500, this is a level 3 Gundam, I believe. Yeah, so yeah, the Gundam's rifle probably outpowers the Gelgoogs now, which, to be honest, I'm perfectly happy with the way most of the Gelgoogs perform with it at this point. So, that's fine. They can have slightly different roles, all that. So, but yeah, apparently the charged power on the Gundam rifle was really seriously upgraded from what Maelstrom was saying. I do not tend to crunch numbers that closely, so it's I'm glad I know people who do, because yeah, I used to be decent at math, but brain, you know, years of putting other things in the brain, and just yeah, never didn't it didn't last. But I can still do some okay multiplication and division in my head on a good day, but is it a good day? Is always going to be the question. Yeah, right now it is pretty unbalanced, 13,000 to 5,200. I'm pretty sure, given that I saved this, the enemy team does make a decent comeback before the end. As you can see, they're coordinating relatively well over there. So, they're all spawning in at the same place at the same time. G-Quux managed to get out of the way of my shot. And, yeah, of course, the trick with the Gundam rifle charging faster and firing faster is the advantage, or the disadvantage. One disadvantage it has over the Gelgoog rifle is it's a lot easier to overheat. The Gelgoog rifle, if you're only firing charged shots, it is very difficult to overheat that. If you're, it's still pretty hard if you're alternating standard and words. Standard and charged shots. That's the sentence. That is a real sentence. Wow. But yeah, again, I'm glad the Gundam got this overhaul. I'd still love to see like a special like Amuro custom version of the Gundam that has aerial melee, that has a few of the tricks the Gundam used in the series. I also want to see it have like a special version of its shield that breaks in 2 stages, just to match the animation. I think there's just like there's a space for an Amuro custom Gundam, just like there's space for all the various Char custom suits we have and haven't gotten yet. But yeah, round went really well. Top score at 2975. And let's see, did not get top damage, but 71,005 is not bad. So that is going to do it for today's Gundam Battle Operation 2. We'll be back soon with more. Till next time, everybody take care and have fun. Later. All right, so in terms of unit adjustments, incidentally, I hear the Sinanju's buffs are really good. I want to give that a try at some point. But yeah, the Gundam got another 1,500 hit points at level 1, went from 15,000 to 16,500. Got 5 more points of melee attack, so from 20 to 25 at level 1. Thrusters went from 60 to 65. At level 4 and up, it went from 60 to 70. Yeah, it now has anti-blast stabilizer, so you can't be heavy staggered if something explodes next to you. It has shield break stance mastery, so losing its shield will not stun it. And emergency evasion level 2, which means double dodge roll. At level 4 and up, it gets emergency evasion level 3, so that's slightly more efficient double dodge roll. They increased its lateral movement speed too. I hadn't realized that, but yeah, left and right movement, strafing, it's faster now. Neat. At level 3, it got 2 more equip slots, went from 12 to 14 at close range. Mid-range got one more, 17 to 18, and long-range got one more from 7 to 8. It also got damage control level 1 for level 3 and 4, and at level 5 got damage control level 2. So, yeah, harder to stun. Thruster output increase level 1 for the level 3 Gundam, level 2 for the level 4, and level 3 for the level 5. I believe, I forget whether that's thruster capacity or thruster speed. Um, Whichever one it is, they also gave it reaction booster program at the same levels for levels 3 through 5, and basically that's, yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's the other one. One is thruster capacity, one is thruster speed. I think one might be boost efficiency. Brain is bad. Um, but yeah, okay. So the beam rifle, heat rate for an uncharged shot now 50%. Cooldown time between shots, it went down from 2 seconds to 1. So yeah, like I said, getting kind of closer to the Alex's beam rifle in terms of performance, but the Alex's does still have the edge. Overheat was cut down from 13 seconds to 8. Charge time was shortened from 2 seconds to 1. Uncharged, it has more build stun. The actual speed of beams has increased. At level 2 and up, they increased the power of the beam rifle. It went from 1653 at level 2 to 2000. Less heat when you fire a charged shot, more build stun on charged shot as well, faster beams, and yeah, power increased for level 2 and up. Meanwhile, the Super Napalm version of the beam rifle got its shortened charge. It used to take 6 seconds. It now takes 3.5, which is a little bit more reasonable. Its power went from 1627 to 1800 at level 2. And, above that, of course, increases as well. Also increased charge power at those levels. But yeah, the Beam Saber has less damage drop off as part of its combo and a stronger downswing. For the Super Napalm, each Super Napalm shot now does 1200 damage instead of 700 at level 1. Does more build stun. The swap time is quicker. And yeah, the reload time shortened from 20 seconds to 15. I'm going to have to try that. Still surprised it didn't add any kind of burn or anything, but even so. Okay, one of the reasons they did this is that the usage rate on the Gundam, on the original Gundam, was ridiculously low. At 400, at level 1, it was only being used 2.66% of the time. It had a win rate of 47.4, which is not terrible, but still well below the average of 50.4. Its damage was not super low. 59,231 is the average for generals at 400. It was doing 56,000. That's not terrible. More losses, like across the board at each level. The worst being at level 5, where the amount of MS lost on average for generals is 3.1. Gundam was at 3.5. It was about 10,000 below on average damage dealt as well. And it was only being used 0.18% of the time. Yeah, but yeah, its win rate and all of its other stats were a bit low, so I'm happy to see it get the overhaul. Obviously it deserves it, and the timing could not have been better.